I was waiting for I am. Hi, I just wanted to say nice to see you. I missed you. I know. I don't know if you heard that. Deputy Mayor, we're ready whenever you are. We're ready when you are. Oh, is he gonna cry? You might want to put this in.
Are we on the record?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I was just kind of wandering around because it's really this is my last meeting, so it's really hard to call this meeting to order, and so I've just kind of, I guess, been wasting time out there, but it's been awesome to see everyone here. So thank you so much for coming. It's a joy to see all of your smiling faces on my last day. So it is. Thank you. Thank you.
See, I can't get them off the roll call.
All right. So it is just after 6:05, December 13th, so I'm going to call this meeting of the City Council to order and ask that the City Clerk do a roll call.
Absolutely. Councilmember Hinsey?
Here.
Councilmember Crayons?
Here.
Councilmember Lyons?
Here.
And for your last meeting, Deputy Mayor Mosca.
I'm here.
All right. Record will show that all members of the City Council are present.
All right. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oops.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so this is an opportunity to recognize me. So I'm going to just, didn't you get the memo? This is what this is about tonight. No. So I'm just going to say a few words and then hand it off to my colleagues to say a few words, only positive, guys. We have had a good friendship and relationship, and then turn it over to the public if there's anybody out there that wants to say anything, good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to say, you're welcome to say it. And so I just wanted to say again, it's really awesome on my last day to have so many smiling faces here, so many people that have been part of this journey for the last 6 years as your City Council member and 2 years as your Parks and Recreation Commission member. And you guys have been part of that journey, and in some ways, in many ways, you have been responsible for that journey. A lot of the things that we've been able to do on the City Council over the last 6 years would not have gotten done without your help. A lot of times people ask me, why did you run for office and why do you serve in office? And I simply say that I want to make a difference. And I truly believe that politics is the art of the possible. It is where we come together as a society and we think about our challenges and we debate our challenges and come up with solutions and make progress for our community and for our society. So politics is incredibly important, and it's something that is ingrained in me as something that I should be doing. It's also a way for us to live into our constitutional values. Obviously, those are things that we share in common: freedom, justice, and equality. And also just the idea of leaving this place a better place for my kids, for your kids, for future generations, better than what we found it. And so I hope that when we look back upon this City Council's time in office, my time in office, that you think that we have left this place a better place, and that the time that I've been in office, it has been about making progress for our community. And I do want to say that, as well as that I think that I've had a lot of role models in my life, and one of them is here today, my dad, who has traveled out from Rhode Island. Many of you, I don't know if you can hear in my accent that I'm actually born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island, and my dad is born and raised as well. He's a Joe as well. I come from a long line of Joes. Thank you, Dad, for naming me Joe. But he and my mom, who I wish my mom was here tonight to also celebrate, instilled in me from a very young age the value of giving back in our community and the value of being involved and being at the table. And certainly I've learned over the years that there is no substitute for being at the table. You need to be at the table and make that change because really that's the way it works. And so I think that the things that I think that over the years that we've been able to accomplish over the 6 years are many things, but I do want to just kind of name a few things, and not to bore you and go on, but there are a few things that I think that are noteworthy. Adoption of a gold standard climate action plan, which I think is really reducing our greenhouse gases locally and preparing our city for a changing climate. Another thing was the creation of San Diego Community Power. And I noticed that our CEO is clapping the loudest, so thank you. Second largest community choice energy program in the state of California, and it is a game changer for the region. It's prioritizing clean energy, reducing greenhouse gases locally, local jobs, local generation, affordability, equity. It is truly making a difference in our region. We started this organization from 0 people. It now has an amazing CEO with about 30 employees, and so we're doing a lot with San Diego Community Power, and we should be very proud of what we've done with that. We're the first city in San Diego County to adopt a building electrification ordinance and many other REACH codes that are moving our community closer to a more sustainable future. We adopted a homelessness action plan and local solutions such as safe parking program, which became more needed during the pandemic. And we saw during the pandemic when many more of our neighbors were unhoused and food insecure. And so this plan, together with a lot of stakeholders, a lot of faith-based organizations and community-based organizations, are making a difference in our community. We focused on equity and inclusion, making sure that people feel like they have a home here in Encinitas. We've resolved multiple lawsuits regarding the city's non-compliance with state housing law. We had the first city certified housing element in almost 40-year history of our city. We provided for more additional affordable and moderate level housing. We focused a lot on infrastructure, and I think that you can see this by just going around the community. The roads are safer. People now are able to bike, ride their scooters, walk. So there's alternatives to just driving, and the roads are safer. Though there's a lot more to do, it is absolutely safer. Activating the Pacific View school site and turning it into a center for the arts. Reorganization of our city staff so the structure was better positioned to advance the goals of the city council. That was a huge initiative and something that took this city council a long time to do. Leadership during a pandemic. Yes, we had a pandemic during my time when everything was closed down and nobody, there was no book on how you basically move forward during a pandemic, but we did it. We did it. And we came out better for it. So, and that was, I would count that as something that we accomplished. New city manager and new city attorneys, leading on an effort to create a brand new source of water with our wastewater stream, all while doing more about affordability of our rates, and leading on a multimodal regional transportation system so that people have options for getting around our region and are not sitting in traffic. And like I said, this wasn't possible. It's not something that we just did ourselves, but it was a whole host of people, many of you that are here today, that helped support a lot of these initiatives. So what I want to do is, since it's not just me, it's all of you that have done this, what I want to do is just kind of go over here to the mic and just call up people one by one and ask that you stand up here with me. And I want to say thank you to you, but at the end, I want to just demonstrate that it's a community effort. It's not just one effort. It's not just the city council. It's not just my effort, but it's all of you, all of us working together to bring about the changes that we did. So I'm going to come down here. First, can you hear me? First, of course, is my family. I would not be able to do this for for almost 8 years without the commitment of my family, them saying that's okay. And they've been awesome. They've been my rock. And if you see pictures of when I was first sworn in, my boys were really small, and now they're getting taller. One is almost 16, and he actually just got his driver's permit, and so he's on the roads now. The other one has a little bit longer to go. He's 12. He's 11, I'm sorry. He's going to be 12 next month. So I'd first like to invite my husband up, Matt, my husband of 20 years. Without Matt's support, I would never be able to do this. He is amazing, and he's allowed me to do this over the last so many years, not only here, but in Sierra Madre, where I was involved for 6 years. And my 2 boys, who are my passion and love in life as well, Garrett and Devin, come on up. So now he's almost taller than me. And Debbie. He's the most recent Eagle Scout in the city of Encinitas, too. One of my favorite, so Matt has 13 siblings, 9 sisters and 5 boys in the family. But one of my favorite sisters-in-law, is here tonight. So Patty, come on up. Well, thank you, Patty. And my dad. Of course, my dad, Joe Mosco. My family. I want to call up my city council colleagues, too. Very soon, the mayor of our city, Tony Kranz. I have thoroughly enjoyed, so he's the only one on the city council currently that I've served with from the very beginning, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working with Tony. I remember going to, I forget what it was, it may have been like, it was some community activity event, and Tony was speaking, and he was talking about his relationship with another council member, and he said it's like my sister or a sibling, a family member. And I didn't get it at that time, but I do think that when I think back over the years in my relationship with Tony, it is almost like a sibling relationship. So thank you, Tony. I've enjoyed my time with you, and I know that you're going to be an amazing mayor for this city. So thank you. Kelly Hensey, who is one of my favorite city council members. Freudian slip. No, I love Kelly. She's my favorite millennial city council member. Come on down. Kelly definitely brings a perspective that I think was not on the city council previously, and I've really valued serving with you. Thank you. And Joy Lyons, our most recent city council member, and just an awesome person to work with. Her name really sums up the whole thing. Joy, she's very joyful and a lot of fun to be with. Thank you. Jody Hubbard, as you may know, she was somebody that I served with and I got elected to office with, and Jody passed away several years ago now, and she was somebody who was, again, just full of life, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with her on the city council. But for her, I wouldn't have an e-bike. She was the one that researched e-bikes and told me which one to buy, and she had a passion for biking and body surfing, and she's just an amazing person who really gave back to the city in a big way, and she'll be really missed, and I love serving with her. Catherine Blakespeare. She's now our state senator. She sent me, her aunt and uncle are here tonight. Thank you so much for being here, or just a pillar of our community. With everything that Catherine's doing up at the State House, and as busy as she is, I got flowers delivered to my house today from Catherine, and just a really special note. Catherine has been just an amazing part of this journey. I think if she wasn't on the city council, and I don't, like, it wouldn't have been the same. She's an amazing leader, and she really helped guide this city over the last 6 years. And I think a lot of the accomplishments that we've been able to achieve are to a large extent because of her. And I think that she is going to do some great things at the state level. I'm really proud of her being our state senator. And now we have our state senator, state assembly member, and county supervisor from Encinitas. So it's awesome that she's up there. Tasha Berner-Horvath, our assembly member, she was a really important part of our team and was really instrumental in some of my early learning on the city council, and I really valued her time on the city council. Mark Muir, who was also on the city council, I loved working with Mark. We didn't see eye to eye on a whole lot of issues, but he had a love for politics. He had a love and passion for our community, and I think he always had fun. He was never took it so serious, and he was always having fun. And so that's one of the things that I'll remember about Mark is just his fun for the role. And he was just an amazing person. So this is the team that I've served with in terms of city council over the last 6 years. I also just want to invite up some of the staff members who have, we get to talk, we get to do all of the, kind of debate and say this is what we should be doing. But the staff are the ones that are actually, finding ways to get it done and implementing everything and running around, getting this stuff done. And we have an amazing staff here now and over the years, and I'm really proud of all of them. And so I want to start with our city manager, Pam Entel. She is just a bold, amazing leader who is able to keep this ship just keep on, plugging along and making progress. So thank you, Pam. Come on up so we can have a nice picture. Former city manager Karen Brust is not here tonight, but she was an important part of my journey as well. She's an Levenheim person, so I always felt, don't listen to this, but I always felt like she understood me, and she helped out with all issues of Levenheim. So she was amazing from the perspective. Thank you, Karen Brust, if you're listening, for everything that you've done for our city. Jace, where's Jace? Jace gave me this today. And it's real. It's real. Jace is probably one of the longest serving staff members, and just, I don't know how the city would run without Jace. She keeps us out of trouble. She does everything. Jace, can you please come up here? Because you're amazing. Thank you, Jace.
Thank you.
Is Crystal here, Nahara? All right, she's not here, but so Crystal Nahara, she's an amazing person who really helped us out with the climate action plan, and but for her actions, I don't think that we would have a gold standard plan, and she's been amazing. Jennifer, is Jen here, our assistant city manager? Come on up, Jen. So Jennifer Campbell was the director of Parks and Recreation and Cultural Arts when I was on the Parks and Rec Commission as well. And she was always the smiling face and made it so much fun. And as assistant city manager, she's been amazing. All right. And Tarquin's not here, who's our city attorney. Former city attorney Glenn Sabin. I mean, he was just another person, kind of like Jace, in that he had so much understanding and knowledge of the city. He left us a couple years ago and went to work for another city down south, which we won't name. But he was just like, he knew everything about the city. And if there was an ordinance that we needed, he had it somewhere. He had such institutional knowledge of the city, and it was just fascinating, especially for somebody who had for me, who had many years in local government, to learn from him. And so I'm very thankful to him as well. Dustin Lopez, our captain of our sheriff's department. Thank you, Dustin. Dustin is an amazing leader and just keeping our community safe. And thank you for being so responsive to, at least well, the entire city, but I know that when I've reached out to you on items that have to do with Lebanon and New Encinitas, you've always been so responsive. And so thank you for everything that you do and all of your deputies as well. So thank you. And the community. So obviously you guys are a big part of, there's so many people in this audience. You guys are really a part of making things happen over the last several years. And so I really appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you so much. Anybody that feels inclined to come up here for a picture and stand with us, because this is quite literally the team that makes it happen. Right? It's not just me, it's not just Tony, it's not just the individual city council members, it's all of us. And you guys have been a big part of that. So anybody that wants to come up here, come on up here.
Before we do pictures, I want to make a quick presentation to Joe. Joe is correct. I've always felt that service on the city council, my colleagues were very much like brothers and sisters to me. And I come from a family of 7, and it was a pretty raucous family. And in fact, some of the deliberations that we had here were somewhat raucous. So, you know, and that's what the business is about. And we got things done, and I think some very important things at that. Serving with Joe, we worked together on some very important issues. And the housing element update, I think, is probably the most important of them all, and it was certainly the most challenging as well. But I think for me, one of the things that I appreciated about Joe is the leadership and the servant's heart that he has always displayed. And I think it's particularly apropos that we are celebrating Joe and his family on the day that the president signed into law the Respect for Marriage Act. So Matt and Garrett and Devin, you know, you're going to have a little more time with your dad, and we would like to have him here with us, but I know that he'll have a good time and do great things with you all as well. As a parting gift, we're going to give Joe a key to the city. And I believe there's one other gift coming. And I will say that I still feel like my colleagues are my siblings, except for when Kelly was elected, because my son is her age. So it suddenly became not sibling-esque. But.
So, Joe, we present to you this piece of local art. This is by local artist Daniela Manini, and this is your little town of Encinitas, and it has all the important things in there, the ADUs that you helped to create and proliferate in our city. And if you look very closely, you'll notice that Highway 101 no longer has potholes because of the most recent slurry project, which I know is something you've been passionate about for a while. So, the first time I got to meet you was when you joined Tasha and I for a walk on Highway 101, and I think it was your first time walking the whole length of North Coast Highway 101. And you started out saying, oh, this is so cute, and look, there's the Panikin, to, oh my God, these cars are driving fast, and how do we get those cyclists in the right area, and how can we get more trees down here? And you really saw that vision, so I thank you for holding that vision for your entire service here on the council. The first time that I really got to sit down with you was when I was doing my interviews with each of the council members and hoping to get appointed to the seat. And I met you over at Pete's Coffee in New Encinitas, and I rode my bike, and my bike broke down on the way. My e-bike broke down. And I said, I hope he doesn't mind. I'm 20 minutes late. And I showed up, and I was all ready to give you my pitch, and you talked most of the time. And I walked away thinking, well, I hope he likes me. I hope he got something from that. But to me, you do talk a lot. But every time you talk, I learn so much. And I think that this is so emblematic of your leadership because you're so thorough in the things that you say. The way that you're able to present an issue or an argument to the folks who join us for any given night on any issue in the chambers, I really admire. And I hope to be able to adopt some of that after you're gone, because I think that you have really carried that part of our council to say, you know, here's why we're doing this, and this is why there are two minds about it, and it's such an important quality to have. And the other thing that I think is such a value that you've brought to our city is your background as a lawyer. And always in closed session when we're going over an issue, it's almost like we're speaking a different language when we're speaking in legal terms. But you're so able to speak that language and to find the holes in the argument and to think through something in a way that the rest of us aren't. So when we look to appoint or whatever we decide to do for Tony C, I hope if you're a lawyer, please apply because we can really use some legal expertise here with this council. So Joe, like Tony said, you've got a servant's heart. You are such an image of a public servant, and after you're gone, I hope that we can all take parts of you that you taught us during your 6 years here. So thank you so much. One last thing. So we had about 30 people who contributed to your gift, and I think some people still would like to sign the back. So if you haven't gotten the chance yet, maybe you could give some folks a chance to sign the back again. But 30 people, maybe you would be willing to stand up if you contributed or you signed the back. I see a lot of you. I know you were shy last time to do that. There's Lisa Schaefer, never shy. Stand up. And I see a few more who contributed and signed, but are a little shy. So it's much appreciated.
And I'm going to take the opportunity while we're standing up here to complete our little bit of conversation here honoring Joe. Really, a lot of the topics have been hit on his public service. He is a public servant. And not only that, though, he is a mentor. And being the youngest, or not the youngest, but the newest member of the city council, I didn't even have to ask Joe. He just immediately reached out to me and invited me to join him for coffee and also to hold coffees for the community, and really established a model for me on what is good as far as outreach and strategy on city council. So as far as a colleague, he has been passionate about the environment and also about natural resources and conservation. And so when I first started on the Environmental Commission, we started our discussion about community choice power. And then when it evolved through all of the strategies to get up to City Council, Joe took it on and amazingly brought it over the finish line for all of us. He and I share that passion for renewable energy. We share the passion for some other things that are kind of geeky, like infrastructure. We've sat on the Encinitas Water Authority board together, and man, he has been such a value to us as our community for things like wastewater. Now I know that's not all that interesting, but you know, people like Joe love that, and he's given us a lot of value in that area. Water conservation, how we deal with it in a drought. Joe and I are serving, or have been serving together, to advance our strategies for water conservation. So we really need to continue to push these things forward in Joe's absence on our city council. He truly will be missed. Just on a personal note, I'm so glad that there's been some talk about siblings, because Joe's like my long lost brother, my Italian brother that I never knew I had. And I will truly, truly miss him on our city council, but also miss him as a colleague and as a friend. I know we'll continue to be friends. But I wanted to tell Joe that I do appreciate him so much, and if you ever have the opportunity in the future for public service again, and I hope you do because I think it's your calling, I would be honored to serve with you in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, let's check.
Okay. If you can't see us, we can't see you. So you're so shy.
I've always wanted the key to the city. Now I get it. Well, thank you. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm really honored to have served on the city council and gone through this journey, and just really proud of the trust that you have put in me. So thank you so much. We're going to turn it over to for you guys to say anything that you want to say. This is a moment of public comment, and I'll look to Kathy Hollywood, our city clerk, to call those that have signed up.
I do have 3. Karen Burns, followed by Sherry Yardley, followed by Judy Burlfine.
It is my last day, remember. No, I'm joking.
Hi. Got a great crowd here, and that certainly is a testament to your incredible leadership here at the Encinitas City Council. My name is Karen Burns. I'm the CEO of San Diego Community Power, and I've had the distinct honor of working with Deputy Mayor Joe Mosca over the past year as we have built the second largest CCA, Community Choice Aggregator in California. Joe, your passion of and Encinitas has been and played a major role, and this has been an enormous community and team effort. Encinitas at large has shown incredible leadership. You all have opted up to the entire city to 100% clean and renewable power at enrollment. So I just want to thank you all for that. As a founding member of our board of directors and our chair of the board, Joe has played a critical role in the success of our organization. You've been a tireless supporter of community choice, and you have led SDCP from its inception until now, successfully navigating challenges, uncertainties, and opportunities with wisdom, empathy, and kindness. The creation of SDCP is so important for our future. And that all being true, leaders truly matter, and your leadership, Joe, has truly mattered. I personally owe much of my early and ongoing success at the helm of SDCP to you. I'll never forget when Joe called me after I had first accepted the role in March, and we're talking, and he's so calm, so supportive, so level-headed, and yes, he talks a lot. And I hung up the phone, and I looked at my husband, and I said, this is crazy. He is in the hot seat of a major startup going from 0 to 60 in 30 seconds, and it's just like he was at Swami's garden all afternoon. How is that? But that has proved to be your authentic self, so calm, so level-headed, supportive, experienced, and passionate. It is a rare leader who can demonstrate all of those qualities, and rarer still, someone who can hold on to them with grace and courage when under fire. While you've set the bar very high for your successor on the SDCP board and in Encinitas, true leadership can also be measured by the continued success of an organization after you have gone. And I have confidence that you have set up SDCP and the Encinitas City Council for success. And although you've already been presented with our proclamation at our last board meeting, I really wanted to make sure to honor you in front of all the constituents that you have so meaningfully served. We will miss you, Joe, and I will miss you. However, we are looking forward to welcoming our new board member from Encinitas, whoever that may be. And from the progressive, amazing place that I am also proud to call home. I live here. And I love it. And I love it. This is an amazing community, and it's so special to me. So thank you again for all you have done for Encinitas and for SDCP, and for all that you will do on your next adventure. You will always be a member of our team, and I know that our paths will cross again soon. So thank you for your leadership, and above all, thank you for your friendship.
Thank you, Karen. Karen has been Karen has been an awesome leader, extraordinarily talented. I feel so fortunate that she accepted the offer and came to SDCP, because she is the right leader at the right time, and she's brought a team together that's been really great. Lee Freeman's in the audience. He helps us with all of our partnerships. Lee, thank you so much for everything you do as well, and thank you for being here tonight. It was a prerequisite to accepting the job that she live in Encinitas. I make sure that with every person that we get to hire, you have to live in Encinitas. And she actually lives in my district as well, or now Bruce's district. So There's your city council member in the future.
Next speaker
Thank you,
is
Karen.
You should probably add that that was just a joke, that you don't have that requirement on
It's
your-
a joke. It's a joke.
Next
It's
speaker is
Encinitas. All I have to do is talk about the beauty of Encinitas, and people just want to come.
Hi, I'm Sherry Yardley, and I'm here on behalf of the Encinitas Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to present to Joe a certificate of appreciation. It says, "Thank you for your years of service to the city and the support of the Encinitas community. We especially thank you for your commitment to the betterment of our Encinitas business community and continued support of its members." Thank you,
Thank
Joe.
you, Sherry. Thank you. And thank you for your service on the El Camino Real Task Force as well. Thank you.
My pleasure. And I did want to say too, just on a little personal note, I'm supposed to be at our holiday mixer tonight, but I came here instead just to be with all of you and to tell you how thankful we are to have you as our council members.
Thank you.
next speaker is Judy Burlfine, followed by Trish Berg, and then Naima Woodward.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
I want to thank you for serving. I'm so grateful for all you've done for SDCP, but also for the little-known committee of the school liaison, where you even showed up for the very last meeting last week when you didn't need to, and you're concerned about getting kids to school safely. So grateful for your hard work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Director Mosca. I'm super happy to be here on behalf of the San Diego County Water Authority. For the audience, I'm Tish Berg. I'm the Assistant General Manager, and I've had the pleasure of working with Director Mosca. He joined our board in 2009, and since then has been working on all of those infrastructure items that you heard a little bit about earlier, including on the Engineering and Operations Committee, the Imported Water Committee, and the Legislative and Public Outreach Committee. He also had leadership roles in several of those committees, including the Legislative and Public Outreach Committee and the Engineering and Operations Committee. In addition, we have work groups that he also took a leadership role in, and I got to work closely with him on the Project Labor Agreement work group, and I so much appreciated the wisdom and leadership that you brought to that work group. You will be missed. You were a pleasure to work with. Also brought a bright, interesting, important perspective to that board. And we will be honoring you in January at our board meeting, and I look forward to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tish.
Naima Woodward is the next speaker, followed by Kathleen Lees, Bob Prendergast, and then Chris Powell.
What can I say, Joe? It's been such an honor to have known you and to have worked with you in different capacity. And I stand here to thank you personally because I've found you to be so articulate. I mean, Kelly put it together so well. Your wisdom and just your calmness, the way you handle things, I'm so grateful for it. And also for everything that you've done for the arts community. I always knew I could count on your support. We will definitely miss you. I miss you, and I count on having you around and working with us as we continue to work with the Pacific View and with the arts. And I'm going to come after you and have you join us. So thank you so much, and my congratulations to you, Tony and Joy. And it's just, I'm very excited, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thanks again,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Thank you.
I so feel like, Naomi, that I should be thanking you for everything that you do for our community. So thankful because you certainly just make this community such a more colorful, vibrant, amazing place to live. So thank you for all that you do in the arts. And I'm looking forward to your contributions and the arts community contribution to Pacific View site. And that's going to be a gem for the entire region. Thank you.
And I would like to reiterate what Naime just said too, is that you are not leaving town, you're just leaving this position. And so I hope and expect that we will be seeing you as we move forward, especially with Pacific View. And I want to thank you for appointing me to the Arts Commission. Joe got to appoint me, or he was given the responsibility to do it when I applied, because my husband and I were redoing our trust, and Catherine Blakespeare was our attorney at the time. So it's not the whether or not she could make an appropriate choice, because I was well qualified, by the way. But you have to be with the commissions, anything the city does, it's the appearance. So Joe appointed me, and I think he's always taken a personal interest in my success. So I want to thank you for that. And also, I was happy today when the president signed I'm not even sure what it's called, but it struck me when we were talking about the equity committee that I was thinking, oh, our city council doesn't represent equity at all. And then like days later, it suddenly dawned on me, well, yeah, I guess it kind of does. So I'm glad that it didn't matter. It just truly was a time that in Encinitas anyway, it didn't matter. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you.
Next speaker is Bob Prendergast, followed by Chris Powell, June Hansberger, and then Jim Wang.
Aha, this time I'm on the other side. Joe, congratulations, and thank you for your service to the city of Encinitas. Your hard work and passion on the Community Action Plan, the Community Choice, Climate Action Plan, Community Choice Power, Encinitas Water Board, San Diego County Water Board. You've done so much to enhance the trails in Levenhain for both pedestrians and equestrians, which is a big part of our community. Fire safety, getting in and out of Levenhain, making sure that we have safe ingress and egress. You've created a safer community through your strong leadership. I know it's tough at times, but you stood up there and you represented and you did what you felt was right for both the community and for the city, and that's hard to do. You've always been there. You've been open to new ideas. As much as people say you talk too much, I think you're a great listener. And you take that information, you digest it, you synthesize it, and you bring it up to the table, and you share it with everybody. And that's a trait that most people don't have. You depart our city having made it a better place, not just for Levenhain, but for all of us. I think we all take great pride in having you up there on the dais, helping us all make this a better place. So on behalf of me and Sally and our community, thank you for your strong and passionate leadership. We wish you the best in your next chapter. I'm glad you're going to stick around.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I thought it should be full circle. I got up here and spoke for you in favor of you being appointed to the city council. We have friends in common in Sierra Madre, which was kind of weird, but good friends of yours, good friends of mine. And so I thought I needed to bring their opinion of you as you served for them in Sierra Madre. And I appreciate your service. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your family. And I know where you're going is going to be a big place, and they're going to be very fortunate to have you. But I still look forward for you to serve in Encinitas somewhere at some time, and I will be here to help you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Congratulations. Thank you for everything. I just wanted to say quickly, I'm so thankful that you were on city council, and I was always so impressed with whenever I would email in about something that was not in your district, you were usually one of the first people to reach back out and have an opinion, idea, helpful comment, sit down and talk with everybody who had a concern in Encinitas. And so I just appreciated that, and I wanted to share that no matter what district you're in, it's just so important that whoever is on the council is always willing to listen and help out other neighbors. So thank you for all you've done for our town, and congratulations to Tony and Joy. I'm so happy to have you as mayor and council member.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Deputy Mayor Joe.
Jim.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Thank you. I'm sorry, I only have 3 minutes, so I can't get all the thank yous in, but maybe I get a time donation from the next person? Oh, there's no next person, right? Okay, so I'll just have to thank you for all the environmental stuff you've done, and also for approving everything I suggested through this Environmental Commission.
You're brilliant.
Well, it would only happen without you and the help of everyone in the council. But I especially want to thank you for being so accessible and talkable to as a council member, because I'm like any other resident. I'm a little intimidated by people on the dais there and with titles and things. But because you talk so much, it makes it a lot easier to talk to you because you've already said everything. I don't need to say much. You already know it all. So again, I only have 3 minutes. I wish I could say enough thank yous, but thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. I've said it before, but Jim served with honor on our Environmental Commission, and many of the ideas that we put into place were, first formulated at the Environmental Commission by Jim. And so this city owes a great deal of gratitude to you for your service on the Environmental Commission. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor, that does conclude comments.
All right. So thank you so much. It's been an honor serving, and I just feel really privileged. It's been an amazing journey. I feel like I've done a lot, and I feel just a great level of gratitude to you for giving me this opportunity and for the trust that you've placed in me. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. And we're going to move on to the next item, which is the last item that I will ever call up and vote on, and I've threatened Tony that I would not take this item up and not certify the election results and make him the next mayor. And he's sitting there shaking. Is Joe going to do this or not? Are you filing a lawsuit? Yes, I'm filing a lawsuit. No, I am not filing a lawsuit. All right. So we have item 4A, which is the adoption of Resolution 2022-115, reciting the facts of the general municipal election held on November 8th, 2022, and declaring the results as provided by law. Environmental consideration, the action being considered by the City Council is exempt from the CEQA because it's not a project. The act involves an organizational or administrative activity of the government that will not result in the direct or indirect physical change in the environment. Are there any public comments on this item, Madam City Clerk?
No, there are not.
All right. Are there any questions as to this item by my colleagues?
No.
All right. I will make a motion that we accept the results and the recommendation of the staff, and I'll call on our council member Kelly Hinsey. I'll invite her to make a second on that.
I will second that motion.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Let's vote.
Motion does carry unanimously.
Congratulations to all the candidates, and now are soon to be sworn in. I now ask that the city clerk start to administer the oath to the mayor first, and then to the city council members.
Hello, hello. Is it working? Yep. I, Anthony Jerome Kranz, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Let's get one without this.
Trudy, pick up your pen.
I would like to say a couple of brief words. Tonight I took the oath using my full name, first time I've done that. I did that because I wanted to honor my parents, both of whom I'm named after. My name is Anthony, my mother's name was Marie Antoinette, and we were both known as Tony. My father's name was Jerry, and my mother, the Catholic, turned it into Jerome, and I'm very proud to have both their names. My mother, when we came here in 1960, became very active in the community, and I learned a lot from her about community activism. She had 7 kids, of which I was the 3rd, and her efforts at raising a family continued with efforts to become a registered nurse, and then a registered nurse practitioner, one of the first in the state. She specialized in palliative care and did a great service to many people in this community when she helped them through the period of the dying days of their family members. So I was always really quite in awe of the work that she did. She unfortunately had cancer and died at 53, way too young. So she has not had the opportunity to spend time with her grandkids and see this opportunity that I've had to serve. My father, I think of him every time I stand up to say the Pledge of Allegiance, because I remember his stories of seeing the flag raising at Iwo Jima, his service in the Marine Corps in the Pacific. He went through boot camp here at MCRD, and that's what encouraged him to come back here to Encinitas and raise his family. This last month, I've reflected a lot on how I got here. I've been thinking a lot about a favorite Talking Heads song. David Byrne sings lyrics, well, how did I get here? And for me, when I reflect on how I got here, that starts with my parents, but it also, in the small house on the corner of Cornish and Requesa, just down the street from Carolyn, Roy Cope. And, you know, we lived right there, and there was a lot of action there. We had a round library to go to. I had my first buddy, Bobby Ayers, lived just down the street on Cornish. He and I were in kindergarten together. And ironically, this fall, as we were campaigning, I got to spend time with Bobby Ayers, standing on street corners waving campaign signs. So it was an interesting kind of full circle opportunity. And now I take my granddaughter to kindergarten at Paul Hickey Central School. And the honor of seeing the number of children and parents who are able to come to school via the infrastructure, the bridge that we put in to allow people to come from the west side to the east side, is very heartwarming, and it allows me to focus on what it is and the important work that we do here on this city council. And so as your mayor, I will continue to work to address legacy infrastructure issues, and we will continue to work on our housing plan. We will continue to try and address the homelessness problem that we are dealing with now. And we will continue to focus on climate action because my granddaughter here needs a world to live in. And if it continues to heat up, she won't have one. So I stay focused on the next generation. I know I'm the old fart on the council, but you know what? The reality is that I do focus on the next generation. So, oh, wait a minute, Bruce, that's right. So with that, I will hand off the mic, and I will just say thank you all very much for your support. I look forward to serving you. And there goes my son and my granddaughter Kyla and my sister Trudy, and I forgot to say thank you very much to my lovely wife Cynthia, for whom I would not be here, you know, if it was not for her support. So thank you very much.
I'd like to invite my family, my husband Rob Ashley, my stepdaughter Louise Ashley, and her boyfriend Dalton Remfrey up to join me. I, Joy Lines, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you. I guess we'll have a few photographs, and then I'll say a few words. I will say just a few words. I wanted to start by saying how honored I am to have the opportunity to be your representative in this elected office for a full term. It's a very good progression from having been appointed, and I am truly honored. I want to thank everyone who supported me and my campaign and our message during the campaign and during the 18 months I've been serving in office. And many of you are here in the room. I think that all of the neighborhoods we walked, all of the miles we put in, all of the doors we knocked on, all of the house parties we had were such a meaningful way to connect with the community, to understand all the challenges and issues on not just the big picture issues, which are so important, but the individual issues, the daily issues, the quality of life issues of every single person, every resident in our community. Thank you for all the help from all of the volunteers in our community. I also want to thank my family, my husband Rob, Louise, Dalton, and our other family members who were dedicated to stand by me and to help with the day-to-day, put one foot in front of the other and climb that mountain. And I couldn't have done it without them and their support. So I appreciate them as well. Thank you. Yes. What I look forward to is that we have a very bright future ahead of us. I feel as though we've been strong and we're going to go from strength to strength. I think that our message was really well embraced, that we're looking to unify behind the positive nature of how we improve our quality of life, how we preserve our character, how we preserve our environment, and how we unite together as a community. I feel like we are thirsty for that, and that we want to be positive as we move forward into the future. And I hope to be able to help foster that throughout our community. So I think our top priorities are going to be affordable housing, and housing in general is a challenge, but affordable housing, we have to be so intentional about continuing to create places for people to live who've lived here their whole lives. I can't tell you how many people I hear from who say, well, we can't afford to live here anymore. These are our people. This is who we are. This is our character. And we need to look at things like preservation of our existing affordable housing, for example, mobile homes. We need to look at things like looking towards creative solutions for new affordable housing, such as workforce housing. So you'll hear me talking about these things, and I'll continue to look for your input as we move forward in this dialogue on housing. Infrastructure is a passion for all of us. We all want good infrastructure, and we're intentionally going to be looking at that. What are our priorities for infrastructure? And not only that, how do we fund it? And so we're really focused now on putting a committee together to address infrastructure. If you're interested in that, please talk to me. It's open now until early January for people who are interested. And the environment, of course. For those who know me and know I'm a landscape architect, I bring a passion for the environment and our ecology, our shoreline, our coastal sage scrub, our native plants, to everything I do, because I think a healthy environment is a healthy community. And so I look forward to helping us evolve and protect our mature trees and protect our environment better and improve in those areas in the near future. So I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you, and I have a policy of an open door, and let's continue the dialogue, continue to improve as a city, and thank you very much for this honor.
Oh, you really? She was reminding me to hold this in my left hand. I assume so I can do something with my right hand. I'd like to invite my wife and my daughter, my wife Beth and my daughter Katie, up. Oh, you can, okay, way behind me. I, Bruce Ehlers, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, and that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservations or purpose of evasions, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you. Well, I don't have as many words as probably our current council that probably is more practiced in public speaking than I am. I do want to thank all my supporters and many of the residents of Encinitas. This was a team effort, and it was people coming out of the woodwork to support me. And going forward, I'm looking for that same support because I think, as the current council said, this is a group effort. This is not me, it's all of us. And we just happen to assimilate those inputs and make the right decisions. So Tony and all the council has reached out to me and welcomed me. I have felt very welcomed by this council. I think we want to move forward together. That doesn't mean getting rid of our individual views. It means moving forward as a team. And I agree, and I appreciate all the welcoming comments you made. So I want to thank my wife for letting me do this for the last 25 years. So it's been a long time. Thank my family, my daughters, two of which are not here, Tori and Jenny, and then Katie. I'd also like to thank my parents. Excuse me. My dad was kind of a role model for this. He was on city council in our hometown for 12 years, planning commission before that. You see a theme here. He also did city school board. I'm not going there. So, but I thank them for setting that example, and probably, and I will break up here. I have to, my role model for this, or I should say my example, Ian, Maggie's husband, is here. My example was Maggie Houlihan. I had the, I had the great fortune of working with her for 11 years, 12 years really total, three times on council, and just learned so much from her. And I have a t-shirt, I almost wore it tonight instead of the suit, that says, "What would Maggie do?" And I will probably wear it to council meetings occasionally when we're in these kind of situations. But just remember, her theme was bring us all together. And I always remember when she first got elected, a very acrimonious campaign. A lot of mudslinging both sides, not much worse than this one. And she met her arch competition down at the beach for photos, and what she said to them, "Let's make this the best council ever." I thought, wow. So let's make this the best council ever. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, I guess this is I'm supposed to speak now. Get used to this here. So we are at the point in the meeting where there is oral communication. And we have a few speakers, and the city clerk will call your name.
Nancy Hardwick, followed by Sherry Yardley.
Mayor Krantz and council members, I'm Nancy Hardwick, a resident in Encinitas and a local volunteer with Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. I'd like to congratulate our new mayor and our newly elected council members. On behalf of moms, I'd like to thank our city council for taking the lead in helping prevent gun violence in our community by enacting common sense gun ordinances. These include a safe storage ordinance, which requires that guns in homes and businesses are securely locked up, and an ordinance banning unlicensed ghost guns. These measures will help make our community and our schools safer. The council has also supported National Gun Violence Awareness Day in June, which honors the memory of more than 30,000 victims of gun violence each year in this country. Briefly, Moms Demand Action is a nonpartisan grassroots movement with more than 10 million supporters nationwide. Our California chapter is actively engaged with state lawmakers, including Tasha and Catherine, and the governor, to enact safer gun laws and to support community violence prevention programs. We look forward to continue working with our council for safety measures for our schools and our community, and we'd like to thank you for your continued support. And congratulations to all.
Thanks, Nancy. And I really appreciate all the work the local chapter does with Moms Demand, so thank you.
I'm back. I have 3 certificates of appreciation and 1 certificate of congratulations. And I'm going to read Tony's. It says, thank you for your years of service to the city and support of the Encinitas community. We especially thank you for your commitment to the betterment of our Encinitas business community and continued support of its members. We look forward to working with you for many more years as our mayor. And I have one for Joy and Kelly, and as I said, Bruce, you get a congratulations one, and we look forward to working with you as well. Thank you. And as I said earlier, it has been a pleasure working with all of you, including Joe, to help our businesses grow and prosper here in Encinitas.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Dolores Welty. Dolores Welty.
Hi, Dolores Welty, Sheridan Road, Leucadia. Congratulations to anyone who will run for city council. That is one of the hardest jobs there is, and you will never please all of us all of the time. But you are a wonderful bunch, and I really admire you. And I wanted to thank Bruce for his excellent work on Planning Commission. We have an excellent Planning Commission, we still do. And they are very careful in how they examine everything that passes through their hands. And they do a good job for us. And I know you will all do a good job for us too. Thank you.
Kevin Doyle.
I want to say, Bruce, I think you nailed it. I think this is going to be our best council ever. I have such respect for all 4 of you, and I've worked closely with you. Joy, not as long, but geez, I remember you came and presented at L101, and you just blew everyone away. Your knowledge of what's going on in the city is really in-depth and impressed us all. Tony, you're a rock, man. It was like about time you're mayor. Really excited. I love the way you work. I've watched you do meetings, and you're a little more collegial, a little more conversational in style, and I'm looking forward to some really interesting meetings. When I first started coming here to these meetings, God, I don't even know how many years ago, it was the theater of it. It was the fun of what's going on and the conversation, the in-depth things. Bruce, I'm going to work my way towards you, but Kelly, worked with Kelly for many years. Kelly came up to the Leucadia Main Street Association as an assistant executive director to Karis Rhodes and grew into the position and won that role through her own merits. And then here you are on council. There's never been a stronger voice for Leucadia and Old Encinitas. Bruce, 5.5 years together, I really know how Bruce's mind works. Well, no, I'll take that back. I'll walk that back 2 steps. I don't really know how your mind works, but I know we both really love the process that we're all going through here right now. It's beautiful, and it works. And a lot of people feel desperate, and things aren't quite right, but the system really, really works. And I look at all 4 of you there. You're all friggin' awesome. And so let's figure out how we're going to fill that seat. I don't want to jump ahead, but I would favor more of a mail-in ballot election as opposed to appointing, but we'll talk about that some other time. Today is a day for celebration. I'm so happy all of you are here. And our staff, you guys are all just really phenomenal. This is going to be a great year. Not this year, next year. Next year is going to be awesome. This year left something to be desired. But I'm really happy you're all here. Congratulations to all of you. Bruce, such a dear friend, and to see you up there, we're going to have some, and look, you get to start with the number 4 seat. Number 5 is going to go to someone else. So it's like you're already moving up the ladder. Thank you, everyone. I love you all.
I actually missed this seat. That's where I started in the Planning Commission 20 years ago. And it's nice. You can spread out. Back in the day when you had to use paper and all these big plans, this has got the only space you can really open up the plans and look at them. The light's good over here. So I may sneak over there, but.
Marco Gonzalez.
Honorable Mayor Kranz, members of the council, Marco Gonzalez, resident business owner. November 2010. Ring a bell? Anybody? It was an interesting day because right here at City Hall, myself, Maggie Houlihan, and Bruce Ehlers conducted a press conference calling into question the transparency of certain campaign expenditures of some folks on council and trying to elevate the city of Encinitas' integrity and perspective in the eyes of the citizenry when it came to elections. Bruce and I were on the same side. We were very much on the same side on that issue. There are folks in this community who think that Bruce and I are diametrically opposed because I have become a guy who helps housing get built, and he spent some time on Planning Commission asking some really hard questions. But what I'm here to say, and really it's to you, Bruce, having spent the last 25 years of my career talking to elected officials, specifically folks who have come from the public as activists and become elected officials, you know, you run as a candidate on the promises of being a compass. You're going to chart a direction, you make promises, and your supporters believe that that direction is true and steadfast and unwavering. And oftentimes I see that when folks get elected, they become weather vanes, meaning they forget some of the dogma or the policy that they ran on, and they simply listen to the loudest folks in the room. And what I find is that the folks who support you for office, and I know Tony experienced this, Lisa who left experienced it, Teresa as well, the folks who supported getting you into office, they love you when you support their issues, but there will come a day when you don't. And unfortunately, in every community we see this where the folks look at you and say, but wait a second, I worked on your campaign. I helped you get elected. How dare you go against me on this issue? And before you know it, your friends become your enemies, and the vitriol of Encinitas Undercover and Encinitas Votes and all of the places out there where folks can spew their hatred become part of the dominant theme. But I'm here to say we've all worked together from all sides. And by and large, we will all agree more often than we will disagree. And the key is when we disagree to be civil. And I look forward to being civil. I look forward to finding common ground as we move forward with our common love for this city. I'm encouraged to have more bodies with institutional knowledge. I feel like the biggest difficulty we've had as a city is the loss of folks who've been around long enough to know where the skeletons are buried. And the longer we have guys like Tony and Bruce up here who have been around, I think it bodes well for teaching the next generation of leaders that we also have up here on the dais. So with that, I just want to say congratulations to you, Bruce, and of course to Joy and Tony for coming on here. Kelly, I'm so glad you didn't have to run this time. But I really look forward to filling that 5th seat and staying involved and tackling some of the difficult problems that we've started to tackle and seeing this city continue in its greatness. So thank you.
So that concludes oral communication on that particular item, which means we are moving next to a discussion and selection of the deputy mayor. And I think that it's been fairly traditional to select as deputy mayor someone who just won their election, and since Joy has also had the opportunity to serve, I would nominate and move that she be appointed deputy mayor.
I'll second that motion.
I would gladly accept that position.
Is yours working? No. I'll just call. Councilmember Ehlers?
Yay. There you go.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So with that, we will, I don't know, did you want to say a few words?
No, I'm fine, yeah. Thank you. I look forward to serving our city as the deputy mayor. I appreciate the nomination.
Okay, thank you. And I will now adjourn the meeting. We'll be back here tomorrow. Kevin Doyle was looking forward to talking about how to deal with the vacancy, and so that'll be one of the agenda items tomorrow, as well as several other important issues. So join us if you can. And there is a reception in the poinsettia room, so you're all welcome to join us there. And with that, we're adjourned.
Get a picture of the new council right up here.